Hmm. Come on, get in my way, bird. No one wants to fight you. Ladder.
Oh, a treasure chest.
Alright. I'm assuming we've gotten most, if not all, the treasure chests now.
Oh, there's the exit.
We're finally there.
I don't really need to rest. We're fine. Just in case I missed something, have a save spot here. Hey, isn't this... It's, Oz Street, or Oz District, I think it's called. Ost. We seem to have emerged in the Ost District. Maki's home is here, if I'm not mistaken. Wow, I had no idea the underground waterway went all the way from the port to here. That network of tunnels beneath the city really does seem to cover a vast area. It's like something out of a spy novel, I'll say. Maybe it's a sign. Was that? That must be the chime to mark the noon hour. Yeah, that's Heimdall's cathedral's bell. Cathedral itself is pretty far away, but in this Sankt district, but you can hear it pretty clearly even here. It must suck to live around there to have that bell going. Well, I think it's about time we found her something to eat. How about we order to go from one of the local shops? And we don't really have much, but I'll be happy to at least treat you to coffee at our home. Our house. What? You mean Machias? You're inviting us to your home? Is this a big cutscene? I don't have a lot of time. Okay, you decided to grab some fish and chips to go from a nearby pub. With their meal in hand, they headed to Maki's house to enjoy lunch with a good cup of coffee. Yeah, I mean, considering everything that happened, you should start at least pretending to be friends. So this is the capital's famous fish and chips. Those are hot dogs. I don't see any fish or chips in that area. I was expecting it to be delicious, but even still, I'm impressed. Yeah, the pub's supposed to be pretty well known for their fish and chips. Again, I see some pickles maybe. Maybe those are fish, like fish sticks type deal over there, fish patties. Maybe. But the rest of that's hot dog. And, you know, not chips. Though I might not know what fish and chips mean since I'm not British. I'll admit. Fair enough, fair enough. They probably already ate it. I'll admit it tastes good, but at the end of the day, it's still a greasy comfort food. Better eat it while it's hot. It tastes disgusting if you let it cool off. Okay, so they haven't eaten it yet. So our theory seems to be wrong. Probably still better than wartime rations, though. What food isn't? This coffee seems pretty high class, though. It's got a nice, rich fragrance. Do you buy your own beans and grind them at home? Yeah. It looks like my father went out and stocked up not too long ago. Now and then he gets the chance to take some time away from his duties and come relax here. He sees his office as a small island of luxury in his hectic daily life, I think. That does sound like something I could see Governor Regnick saying. Elliot, you've met him once. I don't think you have the right to say something like that. You have no idea what he's actually like. He seems like quite a respectable man to me. Again, guys, you've met him once in an official setting. You've never met him in a personal environment. You have no idea what he's like. You'd hardly imagine a home like this belonging to an important official like the Imperial Governor. It's tiny. You know, Fee, it wouldn't hurt to be a little less blunt. No worries. As I said, my father and I are commoners through and through. He might be a top official, but neither of us really saw that as a reason to change our whole lifestyle. Besides, it's not as though we don't have any attachment to this home, or some attachment. Alright. It does seem like a comfy place to live in, though. Really cozy and relaxing.
Ooh, there's a photo.
And we're voice acted now.
Oh, that.
Aww, look at cute little Machias there.
He was definitely beat up as a kid. And called a nerd.
He looks like he had such a sweet disposition.
Yeah, before he grew up to be a stubborn old nag.
Eh.
Stop nitpicking people's old family photos! Honestly.
The governor looks the same as ever, though. Is that woman next to him your older sister or something?
Not the guess I would have made, but
Close enough. She was a cousin on my father's side of the family. Since she lived quite close, she often came to visit. Our family was just my father and I, so having her around was a big help.
The way you speak about her seems to imply you no longer see her. Did she get married and move away?
She died.
oh, you know, not even gonna say like she passed away, just, you know, she died.
Around 6 years ago.
Oh.
I see. And that has something to do with why you hate the nobility, right?
So...
I never really planned on telling anyone about this. But considering all we've been through, I suppose it's time I told you a little more about me. It's a long story, but would you hear me out?
We got too much to do.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Glad to.
Alright, never mind.
Thanks. Sis was 9 years my senior. Beautiful, kind. To me, she was in every sense the ideal woman. Now, as I said earlier, we're a family of commoners through and through. But my father proved to be a very capable government official. And eventually, he was promoted to an important government position, where he started to make a name for himself. Honesty and integrity are a core part of his work ethic. So, of course, he made his fair share of enemies. But after seeing success in a number of major projects, he gained a reputation both inside and outside the government. My mother died when I was still young. But Sis happened to live around here and ended up helping us in more ways than I can count. Since she was his niece, my father always made a fuss over her. And even though she didn't live in the same house, she was like a real sister to me, and a real daughter to my father. I was always so proud of her. As a child, she was practically my idol. And as you'd expect, she had countless admirers among the men of the city. But for all her popularity, she was always level-headed and sensible. So I never felt I had anything to worry about. Until he appeared. He was one of my father's subordinates at City Hall. Though unlike him, he was a noble by birth. A man of high rank, too. The heir of a count. However, he had none of the arrogance or haughtiness one usually associates with the nobility. When I met him myself, he came across as an honest and loyal man. He met Sis when Dad introduced him to her one day. And eventually, the two of them fell in love and began a relationship, despite the difference in their social status. As a child, I was frustrated beyond words. But even I had to admit that the two of them made a good couple. And Sis seemed so happy when she was with him that I had no choice but to let it go and accept their relationship. Time went on and they became engaged, with Dad acting as the go-between. And that's when everything started to fall apart. His family couldn't have been more blatant in their attempts to undermine the relationship. Apparently, one of the four great houses, House Cayenne, proposed an arranged marriage on short notice. And the Count's family were up in arms at the thought he might choose to take a mere commoner as his wife. Since my father held an important post, they were limited in how shamelessly they could try to sabotage the marriage. But they began to harass and threaten her in secret every way they could think of. They made her life a living hell. Maybe she didn't want to cause trouble for the man she loved, or perhaps she did it out of consideration for my father. But all that time, she chose to endure it alone. She never discussed it or asked for help. And finally, it became so crushing that she took her own life. It was only afterward that my father and I learned what had really happened. It seems that at the very last, he had chosen to betray her love for him. "But I told her," he said. "I told her I'd treasure her as my mistress instead if she'd just accept that we couldn't be married. I just don't understand it. Why would she take her own life?" After that, my father seemed to redouble his efforts. It was like watching a machine kick into high gear. With the help of his ally, Chancellor Osborne, he was able to wrest control of City Hall from the noble faction. Then, 4 years ago, he was appointed to his current position as governor of Heimdall. And that's how the Regnitz family came to be where it is.
I don't even know what to say.
So that's why you started hating nobles?
Yeah. I was so furious at Sis's death. My hatred needed to be directed at someone. Anyone. First I blamed her fiancé, then his family, then the family of the Duke who tried to intervene. In the end, I just hated the nobility as a whole. The people, their culture, the entire idea of social classes. I desperately wanted the strength to win against them, to show how right I was, how wrong they were. But deep down, I knew the truth about my hate. I knew I was taking out my anger on people who didn't deserve it. People who had done nothing wrong.
You did?
Okay, I don't want to ruin the sad moment, or nice moment here, but Reen acting like that makes it seem like Magus has still been a jerk to him and every other noble this whole time, even after this misunderstanding was stopped. Because he seems like you finally know why you're a jerk.
They may be from different social classes, but people are still individuals. Sis's fiancé was faithful to her. He just wasn't strong enough to shield her from all that ugliness, despite his love. And the Count and his family were only acting in their best interests, which is to be expected, really. Ultimately, I've had to acknowledge that not all commoners are good people, and not all nobles are unworthy of respect.
It's almost like people are people. Good job.
Eustace might not have done much to change my opinion. But getting to know you two showed me that there are nobles who live up to that name.
Machias.
I have no idea how my father feels about all of this, but this is how I've come to feel.
I see. You have my thanks.
I'm glad you felt you could talk to us about it.
Still, I don't think it hurt to be a bit more honest with yourself. If you're willing to admit all of that, maybe you can find it in you to be friends with Eustace too.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, Eustace hasn't done anything that you seem to equate nobility to, besides being, you know, sure, he's arrogant in some ways, but he's honest and he's straightforward in a lot of other ways. So he hasn't really been that typical noble you seem to hate.
I might accept that not all nobles are bad, but that arrogant, self-centered fool can go choke on a palm.
Alright, the hate boner's just too strong.
He's mocking me for spending so much time studying, or telling me I need to get out more.
I don't think he goes quite that far. Besides, I don't think he does it on purpose. He doesn't mean any harm.
That's the most irritating part! He does it without thinking!
Well, that was a good coffee break, wouldn't you say?
Or apparently you can now do the ultimate shot? Sure. That happened. Lunchtime is over. It must be almost time for the summer festival decoration to start going up. I would have thought preparations for that would have started way before now. And the summer festival not... is the summer festival not that big of a deal in the capital? Depends on who you ask, I guess. I've always just thought of it as one of those small yearly traditions. In my hometown, the summer festival is a major event with extensive preparations. Perhaps these places where the ancient animistic traditions survive put more effort into celebrating the festival. Animism does seem to have mostly vanished here. Not as much as in Roar or Crossbell, though. Well, I suppose it's hard to think of it as a seasonal festival in the capital when it's celebrated a month late to begin with. I think most just see it as an opportunity to catch a glimpse of the Imperial family. Yeah, that sounds about right. That makes sense. Oh. Is that your Argus ring? What is it doing ringing out here? Hello. This is Class 7, Group A, Reen Swarta speaking. Hello there, Reen. This is Carl Regnitz. Alright, you know, how'd you get my number? Is this a prank call? Governor Regnitz? Dad? Come to think of it, he did say that we'd be able to use our ARC's communication function in the city, didn't he? And you guys still haven't communicated with your other team, even though he said that blatantly multiple times. You could have been, like, coordinated with your team or just, you know, catching up at any point, because they're, like, within the city. But no, I guess not. You're Group A's representative, so I figured it best to call you. Is now a good time? Yes, now is totally fine. We actually just left your home. Sure, that's not something you just say. Machias invited us in for coffee. That sounds like a threat. Did he now? I had a favorite specialty store roast those beans just the way I like them. It was top-notch brew, alright. With all that's been going on, it was nice to just sit down and enjoy a good cup of coffee. Well, I'm glad you were able to spend some quality time together. Anyway, getting to the point. I'm calling because we have a bit of a problem on our hands. That being the case, I'd like Group A to take care of one additional task for me. An extra task. We can do that, sure, but what exactly is it you'd like us to do? There appears to have been a burglary at the jeweler's store in Garnier District, okay, but that's not all. The culprits seem to have left a message addressed to you. What? Your confusion is understandable. However, the jewelers submitted a report of the burglary to City Hall in a short while ago. Normally, I'd leave this to the proper authorities, but would you be willing to go and see if there's anything you can do? Of course, sir. We'll head over to Garnier District at once. Alright then, I leave this matter in your hands. What was that all about? Wherever it was, you seemed perplexed. How good are these phones at, like, what, keeping sound to a minimum or something? So that only Reem could hear all that, even though we have people with super hearing and super abilities standing right next to him? It's impressive. Reem explained the particulars of the government's task. Okay. So a jewelry store, or jewelry boutique, was burglarized and the culprit left a message addressed to us? Weird. Though, thinking about it, this all sounds kind of familiar. Yeah, now that you mention it, I'm getting a strange sense of deja vu as well. Still, it would have been helpful if my father could have furnished a few details. Well, it's already past noon. Let's head over to Garnier District and find out what happened. Alright, we report the monster exterminations. Do I get control yet? Good you material? One additional task was added. Okay. Yeah, burglar San Cornise. I don't know how you got a paper to us, but sure. Okay, good. I get control. Let's go. What is it? Gamby's Pub. I think I need to do. Let's get the side stuff done, and that'll be it for today before we do this mission. Oh, I could have turned in the quest after everything was done, the walking one. But whatever. It's already done. Oast District, I think, is Ganny's Pub. Yeah. So how do you like your lunch? Show me someone who's claimed to have had better fish and chips, and I'll show you a liar. They just redefined the whole delicious. Okay. Honestly, I'll eat another plate of those right now. Now that's what I like to hear. Well then, let me give you the recipe if you'd like them so much. Sure? I mean, you shouldn't be doing that if that's your best food. But alright. Are you sure you should be giving out the recipe of your signature dish? Ditto. Maki said. No problem. Nothing beats freshly made fish and chips, and you kids wouldn't be able to get them if you weren't here. Seems like Maki has told you everything there is to know about his family history. Keep looking out for him now, would you? How do you know that? How? How do you realize that? Yeah, I seem to be agreeing with Machias a lot more recently. How? How did you do this? What kind of curse have you put me under? You honestly think I wouldn't notice when you came along and got food with the glum look on your face? You got that from your dad. Okay. I got that now. Can anybody make it?
I've got this!
My
Sure.
turn.
My turn.
No.
My turn.
Go back to fee. Recipes. Fried fish. Some people can make it. August.
All right, I'll give it a try. I suppose this'll do.
How? Monkeys, you're supposed to fail
All right,
for
I'll
me.
give it a try. I suppose this'll do.
Now don't put that evil on me. I'm not Magius. And Magius, come on, fail the dish already. You're wasting my food.
All right, I'll
I'm
give it a
giving you
try.
one job.
I suppose this'll do.
Yeah, I guess I understand that. To me, it still doesn't justify what he did,
I'll
but
do what I can.
it's okay. For the most part.
That came out rather well.
Okay.
I understand his position.
This one's my specialty.
Doesn't make me
It'll be
like
good.
him, though. Yeah, I think they did a good job with building up and having it just come to him when you visit
All right,
here.
I'll give it a try.
Considering everybody's been opening up, it makes sense for
I
him to
suppose this'll
finally
do.
just Magius. Come on, you got one job. But yeah, I'm gonna give you one more chance, Magius. Do not mess this up. Do not mess this up. I mean, mess this up, please.
All right, I'll give it a try. Let's never speak
There
of
we
this
go.
again.
Finally. But yeah. Most of the time, I'm just bashing on Magius because I can. I don't actually hate him. But he's my least favorite character, and the introduction is a big part of that. While I do understand his stance, I do not believe it justifies how he acted to Reen specifically, considering the whole situation. So, that's my stance on him. I don't hate him, but he's not one of my... He's probably on the bottom of the list as far as characters go. But that doesn't mean that he's bad. The list of characters in the main party are pretty top-notch. Laura, I guess she is kind of boring and straightforward. There's no special things about her, so I could understand how you wouldn't like her as much as the rest of them. But to me, that's a plus, having her a straightforward, stoic person. They don't have to have some complicated background or anything like that. I just feel like if I was in this world, I would get along with Laura and Fee, honestly, pretty well. Even though they technically are very different in how they do things, they're very similar in a lot of aspects. Just like two sides of the same coin in the fact that they're like, both are super good at what they do, both are good at fighting, both grew up fighting. Just one was different in how they did it. Both are very honest in how they talk to each other and how they act. Just one is, you know, honest in the sense of being a little gremlin sometimes, and the other is just straightforward as a person. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I agree. She is a very one-dimensional character in that aspect, and I haven't seen too much of her to really say anything about her, like what her backstory is, because I don't know it. But yeah, so far she is fairly one-dimensional. Turn that in. Okay. Either way, let's go back to the main street that we were... Garnier District? Okay. And then we do the mission over here. Right there. Oh, you can move the map. I think everything else should be good. Finished the shoe one, I finished the other quest. So yeah, we're done with everything except for this, and it doesn't seem like there's any other side missions in this section for some reason. Usually they have hidden quests somewhere, but I guess there isn't any. But anyway, that is that. that's all the time I have for today. My next, let's see, next time I play will be, I don't think I'll get home early enough to play on Saturday. I think I'm getting home around like 9 something Saturday, so I won't be able to play then. But Sunday, yes. As for the rest of the week, after that, I have finals coming up, so I might not be able to have the time to stream again, because I might have to study up and make sure everything's good. If I do stream, it'll be short and it'll be a break in between. Oh, thank you. I'm not too worried about most of them. I'd have to get pretty bad on the exams to really affect my grades too much for most of it. One of them could be a little iffy because the entire class's grades is just exams. So that's a quarter of my whole grade is this final exam here, so I gotta do good on that. But yeah, got a bunch of stuff coming up, a bunch of stuff to practice and prepare for over my Thanksgiving break, so it won't be much of a break. But I'll be visiting my family and, you know, visiting people back home. I haven't seen in, well, over a year for most of them. Something like that. But yeah. I already saved. I'm gonna save again just in case. But yeah, I hope you liked what you saw. Stretch. We seem to be super close to where the game started us in that little, what do you want to call it, preview at the beginning of the game, where we just saw we were at some weird place at level 40 something. We seem to be about there level wise, so I'm assuming that's where that's going to come up soon. But yeah, we got this theft to deal with, which is going to happen next time. But yeah, that'll be probably Sunday next week. But anyway, I hope you liked what you saw. If you did, please follow me on Twitch, Luminiferous Quack. And if you want to see the videos and you missed the streams or anything like that, you can support me as well by just going follow me at Luminiferous Quack on YouTube. Spelled the same. And you want notifications, you can also follow me on Twitter, Luminiferous Q. That'll have just notifications and stuff like that of anything that comes up when I'm going to start streaming. Sometimes when I have the time, I'll mention videos that are coming up that day. But yeah, that'll be all. I hope you have a great day and a great Thanksgiving break and a Thanksgiving. Take care and goodbye. Hey y'all, I hope you enjoyed that. If you like what you saw, you can watch me live on Twitch at twitch.tv/LuminiferousQuack. If you want to see these videos, of course, you can see me on YouTube with Luminiferous Quack on YouTube. And you can see, if you want to get notifications for when my videos come out or when I stream on Twitch, you can follow me on Twitter or X at Luminiferous Q. I hope to see you guys there. Have a good one. Please subscribe and like the video. It really helps me out. Bye-bye.